Hello and welcome back to the one and only best game dev Thomas on YouTube. I've missed you. Today I want to show you the prototype that I've been working on. No, not the last one, the next one. This is prototype number 2. The previous prototype was the Naval Battle Chess deck builder game, which you surprisingly all seem to like for the most part. So as a reminder, I'm creating a few of these prototypes so that you can give your feedback on the one that you think has the most promise. And whichever one gets the best feedback is the project I'll be moving forward with. So similar to the previous game prototype, this one is very bare bones. The game that I'm envisioning is much deeper than what I currently have, but I'm just trying to cast a vision for the basic controls and layout and mood for the game that I have in mind. Now here's a fact, shooting a bow is always fun in video games. Always. And I wanted that to be a core pillar of this game. Speaking of core pillars, let me go over the elevator pitch for the game and then we can get into specifics. So the short pitch for the game is Medieval Portal. Now if you don't know, Portal is a first-person puzzle platformer where you use a portal gun to solve puzzle rooms in a futuristic laboratory setting while a corrupted AI is trying to kill you. It's incredible. Similarly, the idea for my game is that you are a guy from a local village who, for plot reasons, needs to infiltrate a wizarding academy. The catch is that you don't have any magical abilities. So you'll need to go through these dungeony puzzle rooms trying to figure out how to solve these puzzles that would be straightforward if you could, shoot fireballs or levitate things with your hands. But since you don't have magic, you have to use an extra layer of cunning as well as your bow and arrow in order to solve these puzzles. So I think this game could be really cool, but right now I just have a super basic demo. The movement has issues, the platforming has issues, the puzzles are stupidly simplistic, but this isn't just a gameplay demo. It's also a mood demo, a theming and artistic demo. And I want to know if this game can capture your imagination even though I know it needs a lot more work. I think I spent like 3 days on this prototype, so cut me some slack. So right now the prototype has 3 aspects to it: the environment, the player, and the puzzle elements. The environment was important for me to put some effort into because I want a dungeon feeling with big rooms where you can't see the floor or ceiling. I used a fog shader on a plane and turned it black, and it turned out pretty good, so now it looks like the floor and the ceiling fade into nothingness. Then I took some stone block textures from the internet and threw those on some walls as well. Now this was looking pretty good, but I wanted to tweak the lighting a bit. So I created these torches and threw in 2 different lights on top of them. One was smaller and brighter, and one was larger and more dim. Then I made a quick script that allows me to mimic the flickering of a fire by turning off and on the lights repeatedly. Then I made the whole rooms much darker. Oh, and I also added some particle effects so it looks like there's like little embers floating around. And boom, there we go. Environment. All right, next is the player. So this is a first-person game, so the actual player can stay just as a bean. I threw on a pre-cooked character controller because I don't want to mess with that during the prototype stage. I can walk and run and jump, and that's good enough for now. Then of course came the bow. I threw a bow and arrow model onto the player, made a couple of animations for drawing and releasing the bow. Then when the player fires, I spawn an arrow with some force behind it, and I also add a little torque to spin the arrow while it's in flight. And it took me a while to get the force and collisions just right how I wanted with the arrows, but I'm not going to bore you with that. All you need to know is arrow shoot, arrow stick into things. That sounds stupid. Whatever. All you need to know is arrow shoot, arrow hit something, arrow stick into something. Unless it's a trigger because I have it bounce off of those. Easy peasy. So that's it for the player. Next we have puzzle elements. Right now that's basically these 2 things. A diamond that acts as a trigger and a platform that can move. And in the code it'll be easy to tie anything that's a trigger into something else that's a triggerable. But the only real use case that I'm using it for right now is for moving platforms. And I'll dive into this pretty quickly because I think it's interesting and also it's been a great tool for helping me set up levels so far. So when setting up these platforms that move when triggered, I made it so that the platform can have a start position and an end position. Then I have buttons that let me set the start position or the end position, and then I can go to the start position or the end position. So basically it's an easy way to set up an animation. I just specify how many seconds I want it to take, set the start and end position, then it's good to go. And I did the same for rotation, and I'll definitely use the scale in the future too. So then I can just drag the triggerable item into the trigger, and if we hit play, then we hit the trigger with an arrow, then the platform animation plays. Pretty easy and super reusable. Also, I made the arrows bounce off the trigger instead of sticking to it because I think it looks way better doing it that way. So then I spent some time building out a fire system. And the fire system allows things to catch on fire. So now you can go up to a torch, ignite your arrow, then shoot that arrow at an unlit torch, and bingo bango. And because I'm lazy, I just made a giant fire appear in order to get to the next level. I mean, all of this is placeholder anyway, but yeah, that was pretty lazy. So that's basically what I've got so far. It's just a couple days of work, but it does a good job of conveying what I want to get across. This demo is available on itch.io, so you can head to the video description and check out the demo on itch, and I would love it if you would leave me some feedback either here in the YouTube comments or over on my Discord. Now, I recently showed my niece 3 different game prototypes. One was the Naval Combat Deck Builder chess game, another one was this bow and arrow game, and then there was the third one that I'm going to talk about later. And out of those 3, she said that this one was her favorite. So let me know if you agree with her. And let me know if you have any ways to improve this idea as well. You guys gave me some incredible feedback on my last prototype, so I'm hoping that you'll do the same for this one. Feel free to leave your feedback in the comments here or over on my Discord. And lastly, thank you for helping me make good games, and I'll see you in the next one.